My people, Rufai Oseni went up for the Nigerian government on the increase of prices, the increase in VAT, and increase, the gasoline, petrol. Everything just went up from a 900 of being at 1,000 now to 1,300. The Nigerian government will continue to make money for themselves and they will continue to spend on themselves while the citizens will continue to, suffer. Let me just put it that way, because the prices of things will continue to go up. The inflation is going to continue to hit the citizens harder. So this morning on their money show, Rufai, Abati, and the lady there, in fact, their analysis on what the government is doing to the citizens of Nigeria is wow. I'm just going to let you all listen. But before I let you all listen to this, I want you all to know that this government, their policies are hard. Some of their policies is good, but majority of their policies is not fair to the Nigerian people, because they continue to fund their own lifestyle in the expense of Nigerians, and the Nigerian people are paying for it, which is not right. Let me let you all listen to this, because this is not what the people voted for at all. May I let you now listen, my people. Please share this video. Share and continue to subscribe to my channel. God bless you.
Mr. Rwani with us last week, and he was able to give his take on a number of issues, of course, one of which is what we faced with regards to fuel scarcity, the price of fuel, and global crude oil prices. Your take on this story?
I mean, but there's nothing different from what he said when he was here. The truth has to be said. Okay, I think the only thing different is the NNPC had not increased the price. He had not seen the NNPC station increase the price. And I think the NNPC, when you want to increase price, please come out with your full chest. It's not the one that will see that NNPC gas station has increased price and we think you've increased price. And you come out afterwards. That's part of the poor parlor state of communication with the NNPC. Nigerians are not dogs. We are not animals. We are not fools. All right? Come out with your full chest and stop beating around the bush. Secondly, definitely to decrease and worsen energy poverty. In fact, energy poverty is depressed as we speak today. From the increase of over 100 naira, do you know how much people now have parked their cars or hardly use their cars? Do you know people that can't have access to energy any longer? The numbers are increasing. And he worked out some empiricals. And that's why we keep saying this government must understand that government will normally subsidize some things for the people. So the question is, what's the priority? What is more emergent? Is it subsidizing of education or subsidizing of petrol? Some people have argued across the line that, it is subsidizing of education, agriculture, and those things are more important. But I disagree. Because petroleum prices are tied to everything in this country. And that's why you're going to see a knock-on inflation when the MBC statistics come out. Definitely, logistic costs has increased, food costs has increased. So when you have a parameter like petrol prices that affects everything down the value chain, including food and including university tuition and including secondary school tuition, because I hear that prices of secondary schools are already going up now.
I think it's across all schools.
Across all schools.
Secondary.
So you need to understand that if you have a big parameter like petrol that affects everything, then probably you should subsidize petrol, because that's energy security. I don't know how it has happened, but it has happened over the years because we've not divested. We don't see a lot of cars on CNG program. The CNG program has not worked the way it should work yet. We don't see another car using diesel. So petrol ties into everything. And that's why I want to ask President Tinubu's administration, what are you doing? Are you really thinking of the impact? The other day in China, he was saying that it is childbirth pain. President Tinubu, please, with due respect, stop saying that. Women die during childbirth. This your childbirth rhetoric is not good. Do you want Nigerians to die during this childbirth? A leader is supposed to make life better. You're collecting all the taxes, electronic transfer taxes. What are you doing with the money on people? But we're seeing you're living fat. Till today, you've not told us how much you bought your private jet or your new presidential jets.
All right.
Let's be realistic here.
Okay, Nigeria faces a perfect storm. That will be my reading of Mr. Bismarck Rewani's submissions at the Lagos Business School breakfast meeting, where he was doing a review of the state of the economy, as it were. He said that the Nigerian government, off the back of Nigerians, is going to make about 5 trillion naira with the hike in fuel price. And that the Nigerian government will get more revenue. It did not address the question of what the Nigerian government will probably do with that revenue. Combined with the fact that Nigeria also faces issues of insecurity, infrastructural deficit, fiscal deficit, and all kinds of problems. What we find, my summary of his submission, is that the Nigerian government is going to make more money. 5 trillion naira, he calls it. But the Nigerian people are going to suffer. He defined that in terms of energy poverty. Now, the experts will tell you that energy is perhaps the most important thing in any economy, because otherwise it's called energy security. That's the opposite of energy poverty. So Nigerians now have been thrown into the trap of energy poverty. Yesterday, I was on the This Day Live program with the Director General of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, Mr. Segun Ajayi Kadio. And he was saying that the most affected sector of the economy are SMEs. These SMEs operate at the level of connection with the people. Most SMEs are having to shut down because they don't have access to petrol, they don't have access to electricity, diesel is expensive. So you find a situation whereby the same people who were told, "Hey, lawful Kambale," have been crippled. We now find ourselves, unfortunately, in a situation whereby President Muhammadu Buhari, now in his Daura village in Katsina, will be laughing. He will say, okay, I think these Yoruba people, they say they know the economy. Okay, the economy is now in their hands. They have taken it down. They have mismanaged it. So this is what we are facing. It's a gross embarrassment in terms of economic management to people who come from the Southwest who say that, people from the Southwest are better at managing the economy. We have not seen that evidence. Schools have increased school fees. Suya. Do you know that a stick of suya now is 1,850 naira? We can't even eat suya again. All within a space of 1 or 2 weeks. So somebody is telling me it's island suya. Okay, even the one that is not island, even Surulere, they have increased the cost of suya, common suya, just to eat, barbecued meat.
It's luxury goods now.
It's
luxury goods now.
It's not luxury. You should be able to get protein. Even fish has become more expensive. Yeah. But in any case, the point I'm making is that Nigerians are growing. Look at Lagos, the city of Lagos that is supposed to be the business capital of Nigeria. It is ghost town. How many vehicles do you see on the road now? People are rationalizing their lifestyle. Lifestyle is affected. Families are affected. Husbands now are beginning to go to the market to make sure that, madams do not top up chop money in the family because of what has been imposed. And yet our leaders, leave it up. So this is the whole thing that I think I get from Bismarck Rewane's intervention. 3 weeks ago, the same Mr. Bismarck Rewane talked about per liter fuel going up to about 1,250 naira per liter. Now, at the moment, they say it's about 897, 1,000 naira in some places. If it goes up to 1,250 naira per liter, he imagined what will happen. He said there will be social unrest. Because Nigerians, as Joe Ajero is saying, will feel betrayed. Nigerians will feel that, they are being punished with whips and scorpions. While at the same time, people in government are living it up. They are asking us to make sacrifices. They are not making sacrifices. In fact, Mr. Rewane also pointed out that the GDP growth that was reported in Q2, nobody should jubilate about it because there will be inflationary pressures. In other words, all the things I've been describing is about the inflationary pressure that he talks about. So if inflation goes up again, how will people live in a country where there is insecurity? And on top of it all, the Dangote refinery and the NNPCL Limited, over the weekend, there's this back and forth about pricing. NNPC Limited says, look, Section 205 of the Petroleum Industry Act prescribes that market forces should take over. So anybody that wants to buy from Dangote refinery should go and buy there. NNPC says He doesn't use any monopoly. Dangote Refinery issued a statement saying, look, it's NNPC Limited that is fixing the price. So in the midst of all this confusion, we are in a quandary. So our future, immediate future, it hangs in the balance. And the pain is much. The people used to say, even power before. Look, this thing has even gone beyond hunger. It's gone beyond hunger. Life is very difficult. You don't know what it means to be the head of a household. You know, the punishment is serious. And those who claimed, who promised that there will be renewed hope, they should not allow that hope to disappear completely. This, again, is my major takeaway from the submissions of Mr. Rewane. We should not wait till there's that social unrest. Some people have served notice that they will go on strike, they will go onto the streets on October 1, driven by the pain of hunger and the reality of anger. President Tinubu should not allow that to happen on his watch. The problem is foreseeable, the problem is preventable.
Preventable and foreseeable. Energy security or energy poverty, as Mr. Bismarck Rufai positioned in his paper at the Lagos Business School. And the detail of that is in this day newspaper of today, and I think it's an important read where he breaks down the effect of this recent hike in petrol prices. Yes, the analysts, economists have made, an argument or perhaps a case for the need to remove subsidy and for Nigerians to begin to pay market-reflective prices for PMS. However, the truth is that we are not able, as we currently are as a nation, to handle the effect of this price hike. And that is one thing that we've consistently said, that if you're going to phase out fuel subsidy, if you're going to remove it, then you have to ensure that you have a conducive environment to be able to handle the shocks of it. Energy poverty is simply when a household has to reduce energy consumption to a degree that it begins to affect life and livelihood as a result of certain parameters, one of which, of course, as we've seen recently, is an increase or a lack of affordability of energy costs, and one of which is the PMS, which a number of people would say for developing countries or emerging nations like Nigeria, is the engine that drives civilization. That's energy. Now, what happens are the ripple effect of the consequence of energy poverty, and we've already broken it down, as Mr. Bismarck Rufai also breaks it down in his presentation. Beyond the obvious, which is that people will begin to reduce their energy consumption. We can see that already. Less people are using their cars. We see on the roads, people are finding ways to, or devise means and ways to be able to get or transport themselves to work. Essential travels, owner prices. We look at the fact of schools and other businesses that have been affected by the cost in price. Also, what happens with energy poverty is that it leaves nations like Nigeria in a vicious cycle of poverty, because the energy required to come out of a cycle of poverty is not available. Energy required to build sectors like the manufacturing sector, the agricultural sector, the cost of production becomes immense. And we've seen the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria come out to complain about how this has affected their members. We've seen agricultural sector in places where we're trying to shore up agriculture, the effect of this. We've seen small businesses. We've made cases for small business who might have to either reduce their production or output, have to let go of some of their staff because of high cost of production. We've seen less people able to have disposable income to patronize these services, hence making business even more difficult. Just look at the streets today. We don't even need to hear the message or speeches by experts like Mr. Bismarck Rufai. The proof is before us on a daily basis. We see how livelihoods and lives have been eroded as a result of energy poverty. So these are real issues, real concerns for Nigeria. And we take it back to the very beginning, the genesis. On Inauguration Day 2023, when the president announced that subsidy was gone, and the criticism afterwards that whilst this was a good move and it was an inevitable end for Nigeria, unfortunately, it wasn't well thought out. Obviously, consultation wasn't had with critical stakeholders that this would affect. It is now time for us to begin to look for ways to bring ourselves out of what we find ourselves.